again on the questions asked by this jury. We talked earlier about this possibly being a hung jury. Looks like they might be going in that direction. And then the issue with the gun, which I found interesting.
Yeah, so, most hung juries, not hung juries, but, usually that question does result in a verdict. It's very uncommon that it ultimately becomes a hung jury. But there's no question that that is where they're leaning to some degree. And I think we talked about this in the last hour a little bit. I think that, the fact that this jury has a option for a lesser included charge and they still can't come to, at least at this point in time, a unanimous verdict is unique and informative as to where they are in the back of that room. The issue with the gun, I guess I agree. I think, your guest in the last hour brought up some really good points in that, there is some significant relevance based on the expert testimony associated with the weight of the weapon, associated with the weight of a taser. And, it's not unusual for jurors to really want to dig into the physical evidence to the extent they can. And I suspect that's what's going on here. I don't know that it's extraordinarily relevant for the purposes of what occurred as it pertains to Ms. Potter. I just think that, the mistake that's been alleged, the mistake that happened here, there really wasn't any time to make that a distinguishing fact. It goes to negligence, and I suspect it goes to relevance, but I don't know that a juror or jurors in the back of that room are going to be able to handle that weapon and really develop any sort of relevant evidence. But they're certainly entitled to do so. The judge agreed. There's no harm in them doing that. They're not going to spoil evidence under these circumstances, and she's going to let them do it. So, it'll be interesting to see what, if anything, that has to do with the final verdict here.
Yeah, it looks like there's, clearly two camps in there, one side on one side on the other, and then the other side perhaps is using this gun to try to convince the other side that, in fact, she should have known the difference and this was more than a mistake. All right, Jamie, stand by. Right now, what I want to do is take a look back on some